Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 74th Annual First Citizen Awards Banquet presented by Pioneer Trust Bank and Mountain West Center for Community Excellence. I'm Mike Herron with Vips Industries, and I'm honored to serve as this year's Chamber Board President for 4 more months. This evening is about celebrating individuals who believe in Salem and have showcased their commitment to community throughout their careers. It is through service, sometimes quietly and behind the scenes, that they connect with us, they inspire us. Their service makes Salem a remarkable place to live, to work, and to proudly call home. We are thrilled to be hosting almost 500 guests this evening, and as a VIPS employee, I can say I'm really thrilled. This is awesome. So, a couple of quick announcements. If the most attractive person at your table would please find the envelope with meal selections for each guest and distribute them to be placed next to your plate, it will assist the Convention Center staff with meal service. I'd also ask that you please set the table number stands down to prevent obstruction of anyone's view of the glorious recipients tonight.
Thank you, Mike. I am Tom Hoffert, CEO of the Salem Chamber, and I'm pleased to welcome you to literally our most inspiring night of the year. This organization understands leadership, from our dedicated board of directors team to our past presidents and our leadership development arm, the McLaren Leadership Foundation. These volunteer leaders continue sharing their wisdom and guidance with each of us. The Salem Chamber provides strategic advocacy for businesses of all sizes and needs. Our organization provides aspirational workforce development programming in partnership with our education sector for future employees. And we remain laser focused on community solutions. Mike, I am so excited about what is going to transpire this evening. Would you join me in asking our Salem Chamber Board of Directors team to please stand and be recognized by your peers for your strategic service? Randy. Yes, Randy, even you. Especially you, exactly. Tonight, you will hear the names of our sponsoring companies that rally behind all that is good in our city. But 2 companies in particular, Pioneer Trust Bank and our friends at Mountain West Center for Community Excellence, are proudly tonight's presenting sponsors. It is no coincidence that both of these companies have called Salem home for decades. And I'm going to quote, "You can get a lot done when you don't care who gets the credit." Larry and Jason Tokarski, Dr. Salam Noor, Mickey Hittner, and the entire skilled Mountain West Center for Community Excellence team, you absolutely set the bar for what is great in Salem and how to give back to this community. Absolutely. Mountain West invests in initiatives for seniors, youth, those without homes to call their own, and nonprofit leaders who improve the community around us. All of us are grateful for their unparalleled commitment to making Salem a healthier community for generations to come. And now I will also quote, "Since the 1800s, we have been proud to be your community bank, valuing our customer relationships and committed, trusted services. The Compton family have served as leaders and visionaries to what is known today as Pioneers Trust Bank, a true Salem-born and raised banking partner. Randy and Mike Compton, CEO John Wilborn, 4th-generation bank president Brad Compton, Dan McDowell, and the entire Pioneer Trust team. Since 1869, you've made Salem financially stronger." Tonight, all guests in this room appreciate Mountain West Center for Community Excellence and Pioneer Trust Bank for allowing us to gather together to celebrate Salem's best examples of servant leadership and passion and community spirit.
Since 1950, the Salem Chamber has honored those who exemplify servant leadership through the First Citizen Awards Banquet. Individuals are recognized in the categories of Outstanding Young Professional, Distinguished Service, and Salem's First Citizen. These are individuals who through strategic giving, selfless volunteering, community stewardship, and a philanthropic mindset improve lives in our community. Their efforts create beautiful outcomes that make our community a better place and serve as examples of what happens when ordinary people roll up their sleeves and act.
Tonight will be both humbling and inspiring. Each year, a special group of individuals gather to orchestrate this remarkable evening of celebration. Our First Citizen Banquet Volunteer Committee will be noted on the big screens throughout the evening. As you would expect, our volunteers have an incredible leader at their helm. Our own past president, Laura Dorn, has led this group of this strong and mighty team of leaders through the preparation and execution of this evening's affair. Walking beside Laura is Lane No, our Salem Chamber's events and programming manager. To Laura, absolutely. To Laura, Lane, and the entire committee, this event would not occur without your thoughtful and engaging leadership. May I ask the First Citizen Banquet Committee members, in addition to Chairwoman Laura Dorn, please stand and be recognized by our audience.
So it isn't a party without music, and there ain't no party like a Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet party. That's right, because a Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet party don't stop, they double stop. Leave me hanging. All right, I'm sorry. It's a very obscure jazz reference joke, and it's perhaps a little bit too specific for tonight. Actually, Allied, could you stop the thing for a second? I don't know what, I gotta go off script here for just a second and explain that. I don't know what Tom's face looks like behind me, and I'll be frank, I'm a little nervous to turn around and check it out, but I would actually like to share with our 4 award recipients tonight, because you're gonna get up here and speak. And I want you to know what I just did there. I told a obscure, rare jazz reference joke that was so bad that jazz guys didn't laugh. What I also did is I set the bar for how funny you have to be exceptionally low tonight. So everybody in this room, if there was something that you were thinking about putting in your speech, but like kind of were on the fence, like I don't know, should I say that's not funny or whatever, they're begging you to put it in there, okay? So I'm asking you, put that funny stuff back in. The bar is very low, you can do this. All right, let's roll with the teleprompter again. Let me just say we're thrilled to feature live music from the Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet. Applause.
Applause.
This organization loves our deep history of partnering with leaders from within our small business community. Our MC for the evening has had a special 3-year run at this event. 2 years ago, he MC'd. Last year, he received the Distinguished Service Award, and this year, he returns as our MC. This evening, we will welcome back Barry Nelson, partner with Capital Financial Planners. Following dinner, Barry will take charge of the podium and walk us through a fantastic evening of recognition and celebration, and no more obscure jazz reference jokes.
You guys are cheering for no more. Well, let's get things moving and start our evening out with not one, not two, but actually 3 performances. First of all, we will welcome Matthew Miller to the stage to present our national anthem tonight. And that is a little different than what you see in your brochures. Immediately following Matthew, we will welcome our own Mayor Julie Hoy for presentation of God Bless America. But first, I'd ask you all to stand with me. We will kick off the night with an invocation provided by Tiffany Bulgin, manager of Ike's Downtown and the Ike Box. Please remain standing after our invocation for our national anthem and God Bless America. Tiffany, the stage is yours.
Hi. Join me in quieting our minds and opening our hearts for just a few moments. Heavenly Father, we gather this evening to celebrate. We are so grateful for this beautiful place and all of these beautiful souls. As we take time to honor several amazing citizens among us, may we be encouraged by and inspired to go from here and find ways to love better in our own circles. Starting with our families and then extend beyond that. Help us to realize the power that each of us have to make a positive change in this city. Develop in us the ability to see others as we are seen by you. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Well, thank you, Tiffany, Mayor Hoy, and Matthew for your performances, your vocal talents. They're a gift to Salem, matched only by your gifts of time and commitment to our city and residents. So as mentioned, the staff from the Salem Convention Center has already begun our dinner service this evening. The wine you are enjoying at your table tonight is courtesy of our friends at Red Hawk Vineyard and Winery. We will continue the program in approximately 30 minutes. It's not easy serving nearly 500 people, so there will likely be attendees just getting their first bites in their mouth when we return. So thank you for your grace as we navigate a packed agenda. Enjoy your dinner and bon appetit.
Live from Salem, Oregon, it's the 74th First Citizens Awards with your host, Barry Nelson, starring outstanding young professional, Andrew Holbert, Distinguished Service Award recipient, Gilbert, and Ronnie Brooks. And the 2025 First Citizen Gregg Peterson. Featuring musical guest, the Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet. Presented by Mountain West Center for Community Excellence and Pioneer Trust Bank. And now, please welcome your host, Barry Nelson.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a tremendous honor to be invited to host the 74th annual Salem First Citizen Banquet. As you heard, this is my third consecutive year at the podium, and I have to say, Tom, last year was a little more fun. As I said 2 years ago from up here, you all look fabulous this evening. This is a great night for Salem. Tonight, let's draw inspiration from others who are giving back to this community and making it a better place to live, to work, and to play. At the Salem Chamber, we believe in helping businesses prosper so the entire community may thrive. The Chamber has long understood that our city is truly a special place filled with thoughtful, committed, giving, and compassionate leaders. The Salem Chamber serves as a catalyst for business growth, the premier convener of leaders and influencers, and is a champion for a thriving community. Tonight, the Salem Chamber gathers to recognize 4 individuals who put our Salem community first. To a person, each honoree this evening has dedicated a great portion of their time, talents, and treasure to improving the lives of residents and businesses within our community. Each is vastly different in their local impact, yet they all possess a number of common character traits. They are kind, engaging, humble, passionate, driven, committed, and believers of bigger things for Salem. We could not have this event without the continued support of our sponsors, a number of whom have been with us year after year, showing their support for the men and women who are doing remarkable things here in Salem. We again recognize our 2 presenting sponsors. Will attendees from the Mountain West Center for Community Excellence and the Pioneer Trust Bank teams please stand and be recognized? These 2 companies are simply filled with leaders who understand why investing in Salem is good for business and community. The Tokarski and Compton families believe in a healthy Salem and have been evergreen companies who have supported a strong, resilient Salem community for decades. Will our gold sponsors please stand as your name is read? Oregon Specialty Group and Dr. Bud Pierce. Portland General Electric. Saalfeld Griggs PC. Thank you to our gold sponsors. Like our two presenting sponsors, your commitment to celebrating leadership and positive impacts across Salem is inspiring. For our next sponsors, please stand when your business is called. Aaron Bell and Tracy Rogers, our wine sponsors from Red Hawk Vineyard and Winery. Making our decor so engaging, and our floral sponsor, Roth's Fresh Markets. The team behind the Banquet's branding, our graphic design sponsor, PacWest Lobby Group. Our print and mailing sponsor, Select Impressions. The visual signage this evening was created by our partners at Fast Signs. The skilled handiwork of our photography sponsor, my elementary school classmate, Zach Stone of Zach Stone Photography. A popular pre-banquet attraction is our photo booth provided by Fitzpatrick Painting and Construction. And finally, our entertainment sponsor is, of course, the Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet. Without these supporting companies, events like the First Citizen Banquet would look rather pedestrian. Is there a more talented and creative team than that of Allied Video Productions? Please join me in an incredible show of gratitude to Scott Hosner, Brad Steiner, Dan Walker, Brian Hart, and the entire Allied Video team. Please take a bow. I am so impressed with the number of companies who have come together this evening in celebration and partnership. I request that each of our silver sponsors please stand as your name is read. Audience, please hold your applause until we reach the end. Amerititle, Anthem Strategies, Capital Auto Group, Collier Law, Fidelity National Title, Fisher Hayes Joey and Allen LLC, Huggins Insurance in partnership with Bliss Sequoia, Landmark Professional Mortgage Company, Northwest Natural, Rich Duncan Construction, Summit Wealth Management, Vips Industries representing the Salem Convention Center and the Grand Hotel, and Willamette Valley Bank, and with Nell Battle Creek Company. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in thanking our generous silver sponsors. Thank you to all of our sponsor companies for their help in making this wonderful event possible. Please join me in giving all our sponsors one more thunderous round of applause. Leaders arrive in many forms. Some prefer to be behind the scenes, while others are willing to give of themselves in public office. Join me in recognizing the following elected officials and public service leaders in attendance tonight. These individuals represent our interests at the highest levels of local, county, and state government. We salute them for providing us with their best service possible. Once all are announced, please join me in thanking them for their civic service. Elected officials and dignitaries, please stand and remain standing until we can collectively thank you at the end of announced attendees. State Representative Kevin Mannix, Salem Mayor and songstress extraordinaire Julie Hoy, Salem City Councilor Vanessa Nordyke, Salem City Councilor Dr. Irvin Brown, Kaiser City Councilor Sarita Cross, Kaiser City Councilor Shaney Starr, Marion County Commissioner Kevin Cameron, Marion County District Attorney Paige Clarkson, Marion County Clerk Bill Burgess, Marion County Sheriff Nick Hunter, Superintendent of Salem Kaiser Public Schools, Andrea Castaneda. Salem Kaiser School Board Chair, Dr. Cynthia Richardson. Corbin University President, Dr. Mark Yates. Chemeketa Community College President, Dr. Jessica Howard. Chemeketa Community College Board Member, Neva Hutchinson. Marion County Soil and Water Conservation District Vice Chair, Angela Plowhead, and Salem Fire Chief, David Gerboth. Tom Hoffert. Now, a disclaimer. Tom Hoffert notes that he gets very nervous that he may have missed an attendee, as some table guests are described as TBD when registering guests. We hope we did not miss a dignitary, but ask for your forgiveness if we did. Now, please join me in thanking once again these community leaders for their service. Leaders don't surface overnight. If you look around this room, there are leaders from all areas and industries in our community. You represent generations of amazing work in the greater Salem area and across Oregon. It is critical that we continue to cultivate the young and emerging leaders in our community, which is why the Outstanding Young Professional Award is so important in this evening's event. The business community plays a unique role in supporting the development of emerging professionals in Salem. We have several past Outstanding Young Professional recipients in the audience tonight. These include Conrad Venti, Joshua Kay, Alvin Clausen, Tom Hoffert, and Ryan Collier. I ask each of you to please stand and be recognized. A United States Marine Corps veteran, Andrew Holbert not only understands the values of servant leadership, it is deeply ingrained in his being, driving his core belief system. To Andrew, the Marine Corps value of service before self means taking responsibility for others and sacrificing personal desires for the greater good. Fueled by both passion and a sense of duty, Andrew has gone on to put these values into action, embarking on a personal mission and a professional career that supports fellow military veterans and their families following his own transition to civilian life. Understanding the immense challenges veterans and their families face every day in civilian life, Andrew has become a champion and advocate for those who have sacrificed so much for all of us and their country. Throughout his impressive career in veteran services, he's led Western Oregon University's chapter of Student Veterans of America, pioneered workforce development initiatives for veterans in the state of Nevada, and has supported organizations such as the Veterans of Foreign Wars and the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association. Since 2023, we have come to know and admire Andrew in his role as the Executive Director of Courtney Place Veterans Housing, where he assists and supports veterans facing housing insecurity in the Salem community. But Andrew's inspiring vision for the building extends far beyond simply providing shelter, as he sees Courtney Place as a beacon of hope and holistic support center for our brave veterans. Here is what one of Andrew's award nominators had to say about his work. The professional approach Andrew and his entire team provides to each veteran is extraordinary. Andrew's philosophy is always asking, what is important to you? And then finding a path to move from hope to outcomes. As a true patriot who leads with courage, compassion, purpose, and humility, Andrew clearly embodies the definition of servant leadership, and we are proud to now call him an outstanding young professional. Let's see what happened when we surprised 2025 Outstanding Young Professional recipient Andrew Holbert at the Withnell Family YMCA with a group of his close colleagues.
Here we go. We ready? Hi, Andrew.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, we're going to have you stay right here for just 1 second, and then we'll let you
What is happening right
say
now?
hi to everybody.
All right. What is happening?
Andrew, on behalf of the entire Salem business community, the Salem Chamber, and the entire residents of the Salem-Keizer area, on the night of March 8th, you will be recognized as Salem's 2025 Outstanding Young Professional.
Thank you very much. My pleasure, brother. Miles.
The way I met you, you cold called my business to ask how we could help you help veterans. When we were hiring you, Peter Courtney wrote down on a piece of paper, he wrote, "This is the guy." And today, this community is saying, "This is the guy."
I am so proud of you. It is so amazing to see how much you do for our family and this community. And this has been a very hard secret to keep. I'm very proud of you, and I love you.
Andrew, I know we played it up today to surprise you. You know, I was on the hiring panel too, and we knew you were the right person. And what we didn't know was how right you were. And when Peter talked about, he got off the bus, came to the Y, didn't have a place, room 206, he didn't forget where he laid his head and provided this place and entrusted it in you. You truly have earned this, and we thank you for who you are.
Thank you very much. I didn't know this was even on the radar. I've been preparing for a whole different meeting all day, so I'm also kind of surprised I'm still considered young because my back hurts standing here right now. I love what I do. I love who I work with. I couldn't see myself doing anything but this. This is like the dream to do this. And honestly, Margie, I'm really trying to not look at you because I get having Peter's name on our wall is, it's important to us that we maintain the beliefs that he believed in for our community and what veterans should be given and how they should be taken care of. And so the standard for us, we want to make sure we do him right and do him proud all the time. And so it's something we take great pride in.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce Andrew Holbert as the 2025 Outstanding Young Professional.
I didn't know they were going to show the video of me crying, by the way, so if you all could forget that happened, I'd really appreciate that. I do want to take a quick moment. This is something that we do in the space that I occupy a lot. We try to recognize all the veterans that are in the room. And so if I could I have all the veterans stand up? And I'm a little biased, but can I get a little rah from my Marines in the room? There we go. All right. And now I'm a little ready to do this. Okay. Let's be professional. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and members of the Salem Chamber of Commerce, standing before you tonight to accept the Outstanding Young Professional Award is an incredible honor, one that humbles me beyond words. To say this moment is surreal, it would be an understatement. It will actually take me a long time to probably fully accept this recognition in my own mind. For years, I've struggled with imposter syndrome, a feeling that really only intensifies with milestone success like this. But standing here tonight, surrounded by friends, colleagues, and this incredible Salem community, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. Many have congratulated me over the last few days since this announcement was made and remarked on my humility. But the truth is, I'm simply just doing what I think is right. I saw a need, I stepped up, and I kept waiting for somebody else to take the lead. But at some point, I realized, I guess I'm that guy. As the Bible says, "Here I am, Lord, send me." Before I begin my thank yous, I know I will inevitably forget to mention someone who has played a vital role in my journey. I wrote it down, so I'm going to try to do my best. And for that, I want to sincerely apologize in advance. Please charge it to my head and not to my heart. Any success I have achieved is built upon the unwavering support of my friends, mentors, and colleagues. I must express my deepest gratitude to the late Senator Peter Courtney, who ensured that Courtney Place became a reality. I am honored to continue his vision for our veteran community. Margie could not be here tonight, but I want her to know that we carry his name with pride, and as long as I'm around, Peter Courtney's legacy will be synonymous with veteran success. Peter once said, "We are all at our best when we serve others," and I happen to agree. To the Y Board, the Courtney Place Board, former Executive Director Chuck Adams, the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs, Dr. Daniels, our local elected officials, of which many are here present, and thank you for that, the Oregon Lottery, the taxpayers, of course, and so many others, thank you for your incredible work in supporting the legacy of Courtney Place and ensuring its continued success. To my incredible partners at the Marion and Polk County YMCA, Tim, Jessica, Bubba, Heidi, Naisha, Carrie, Lana, Val, and so many more, your support and dedication to our mission has been instrumental in everything we have accomplished. I am profoundly grateful for such a meaningful partnership. Then there's my circle of friends, more like family. This is going to take a second. AJ, Daniel, Dean, Matt, Kyle, Dr. Dutton, Rosie, and Jim, who can't be here tonight because he's out of town swimming with dolphins. I am a walking example of the saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with." They wouldn't let me quit or give up, even if I wanted to. It doesn't hurt that they're all prior service Marines mostly, and the ones that aren't should have been. I'm not sure who has to listen to me verbally process more, my friends or my girlfriend, but both deserve recognition. I would be remiss not to mention my phenomenal team, Bob, who's here, and Noel. Please. They do the lion's share of the work while I'm off running around having lunches and coffee meetings Without you, Courtney Place would not be the same, nor would the veterans we serve every day. I also want to recognize two extraordinary individuals here tonight. This is going to be real fun. Ready? Lauren Picard and Sean Griswold, can you please stand? These outstanding Oregonians served with me in the Marine Corps and during Iraq. Their dedication to duty, both in uniform and in their current roles, is a testament to the values of sacrifice and define our veteran community. Thank you for being here tonight. So a little bit about me. I grew up in North Las Vegas, a place far removed from the glamour of the Strip. I saw firsthand how quickly young lives could be consumed by violence, addiction, and incarceration. I too succumbed to that environment. Embracing a life of mediocrity and self-destruction, I became entangled with the wrong people and started to throw my life away. I found myself caught in that cycle, uncertain of my future and searching for purpose. I knew that if I didn't leave Las Vegas, I would end up in prison or worse. The Marine Corps was my only way out, not out of patriotism, but out of desperation, perhaps even an unconscious attempt at further self-destruction. Instead, the Marine Corps taught me how to live. It lit a fire inside me, a relentless desire to serve. It gave me a mission, a purpose, and a brotherhood that shaped me into the man I am today. The transition out of the Marine Corps was one of the hardest things that I have ever done. I had spent years knowing exactly who I was and what my mission was, and suddenly that identity was gone. The civilian world felt foreign, and I struggled to find where I fit in. A month after I separated from the Marine Corps, I found myself in a classroom at Corbin University, feeling completely out of place. I quickly realized I was different from my peers. My perspectives, my worldview, and my life experiences set me apart in ways that I really couldn't articulate at the time. I knew that I was in over my head day one. I showed up with a spiral notebook and a pen and a 3-ring binder, and I was ready to go. I will never forget the kid in the front row unraveled the keyboard and slapped a tablet into it, and I immediately knew that I was way over my head. I felt like Adam Sandler and Billy Madison. Before long, I found myself contemplating dropping out and re-enlisting. I simply just didn't feel like I belonged anywhere else. It wasn't because people weren't friendly or welcoming. Nobody did anything wrong. In fact, it was the opposite. See, I wasn't from Oregon, but I had heard great things about it from movies like The Goonies. That's not a plant. I wasn't prepared for how nice and friendly people were, and I remember thinking to myself one day, wow, this place really is full of a bunch of hippies. Oregon was such a stark transition from where I had just came from. Luckily, before I could drop out, I found other veterans on campus, and together we built a student-veteran organization. We'd rallied together not just student veterans, but veterans on staff and faculty as well. We built a veteran community on campus that was led by student veterans. I want to pause here and know that when I got out of the Marine Corps, I began to grow out a mohawk, a beard, I had some gauges. The entire campus knew who I was, and you can imagine how strange it was to have me running around advocating for veterans and also pursuing a degree in biblical studies. About halfway through college, I started volunteering with this organization called Church at the Park. It was a small group of people who had meals with our homeless community. And during that time, I discovered that veterans were amongst this community. Call me naive, because I was, but I was shocked. And I would say things like, "Don't you know you have benefits?" I became really good friends with a veteran named Ronnie. He was a Vietnam veteran. And unfortunately, not long after becoming friends, he was diagnosed with a terminal illness, likely caused by Blue Water Navy. In just a few short weeks, I watched that friend wither away on the streets and under bridges, until eventually he was placed in hospice over in West Salem, where he ended up passing. This experience and my college experience were the catalysts that drove me into continuing to serve. Shortly after graduation, that same drive led me to create the Veterans Program that you heard earlier at Western Oregon University, where I was determined to drive change via a systematic process from within. Thanks to tremendous mentors and leaders, when I left in 2018, it was recognized as the best student veterans program in the nation. My journey took me to the halls of government, where I worked for a U.S. Senator, a U.S. Congresswoman, and the Governor of Nevada. I'm pretty sure if I'd have worked for the mayor, I would have gotten a free t-shirt. During that time, I advocated for veterans on issues like education and health, benefits, workforce development, and I had the pleasure of fighting for veterans ranging from World War II to current era veterans to receive the military awards that they rightfully deserved, including Silver Stars, Bronze Stars, and Purple Hearts. I also happened to go back to school during all this and earn my master's in business administration and my master's in public administration from Corbin University. But today, I am the executive director of Courtney Place Veterans Housing. Yeah. In a time where support the troops stickers are fading and thank you for your service has become a hollow phrase, our work at Courtney Place is more critical than ever. The greatest threat to our warriors today is not an enemy on the battlefield. It is suicide and homelessness. We are losing more to those foes than anything else. At Courtney Place, we fight to change that. We build self-sufficiency, independence, and restore dignity. We battle back against negative stereotypes and highlight the strength, resilience, and contributions of our veterans. We need people who care and are genuinely committed beyond the bumper sticker to the mission of seeing our community be better every day. On April 25th, we will host our first annual fundraiser. I encourage all of you, or as many of you will fit in the Reed Opera House, to join us. You will hear firsthand about the impact we are making, the critical work of our dedicated staff, and the powerful stories of the veterans we serve. Despite only being open for only 11 months, the Courtney Place team has managed to provide over 1,100 hours of individualized peer support and mentorship, 120 plus shopping trips and support outings to battle depression and isolation. We've provided more than 80 medical transportation trips, including dialysis and oncology appointments and other critical healthcare appointments. We've assisted in securing 6 new jobs for residents, including my friend back here, Mr. Frederick Tognoli, seated at the YMCA's table. We have no intention of slowing down. If anything, we are pressing harder on the gas because this community has shown up for us in ways that allow our veterans to thrive. So I hope to see all of you on April 25th. Now, before I close, I want to acknowledge the 4 most important people in my life, my girlfriend Tanya, and my 3 incredible kids, Isabella, Tristan, and Genesis. This is the hard part, guys. The rest was easy. Your love, patience, and unwavering support make everything I do possible. You bear the weight of the long nights, the exhaustion, and the many weekends of volunteering. Tanya, your hope and positivity light up my world. You remind me every day that there is good in this world and that no challenge is too great when faced with love and determination. I'm all around banged up and bruised, yet you stick by my side through everything. And I am grateful beyond words that you came into my life and that you love and support me in everything that I do. To my children, you are the reason I wake up every day. It is because of you that I am as driven as I am. I am so incredibly proud of you, but I really wish you would stop growing up. I am confident that you're going to do phenomenal things to change the world. Beyond any success, what matters to me is setting an example for you. The best way to spend your time on this planet is by making a difference. All right, I'm going to try to wrap this up. I don't normally cry in public, so I apologize, guys. Thank you to the Salem Chamber of Commerce for this tremendous honor. This award is not just a reflection of my journey, but a testament to the power of service, community, and the belief that together we can change lives. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Amen. Right? Number one, Andrew, thank you for your service in many ways. And if you didn't know this young man before tonight, you just got a sense of the reason why he's the outstanding young professional for this year. And for the record, I would much rather be here with you tonight than swimming with dolphins. The Distinguished Service Award is given to individuals who have uniquely contributed to the Salem community and who have dedicated their lives to service. These awardees are passionate for others and are in the business of changing people's lives. These men and women do remarkable things to make our community a better place and are examples of what happens when ordinary people act. Salem is better because of the impact these award winners have had on our community. Past Distinguished Service Award recipients in attendance this evening include yours truly, Kathy Gordon, Jim Vu, Jerry Moore, my elementary school music teacher, Mary Jean Sandel. Hi, Mrs. Sandel. Scott Hosner, Mary Louise Van Atta, Mark and Tiffany Bulgin, Jeanette Moore, Rich Duncan, Dan Dorn, Kurt Arthur, and our cherished Mrs. Sharon Seidemann. I ask each of you to please stand and be recognized. As a retired educator, college advisor, and active faith leader, Pastor Ronnie Brooks has led a life of leadership, encouragement, and immeasurable impact while maintaining a powerful humility. Many know him as the faith leader and founder of To God Be the Glory Church, but his faith has inspired him to help children and young people as an educator and mentor for decades. Born in Wichita Falls, Texas, he saw an opportunity to establish a career and college readiness program at Texas A&M University's Commerce campus. That program is still thriving 40 years later. Ronnie married his wife, Linnell Wilborn, and because of her deep roots in Salem, he moved to our community in 2004. Upon arrival, he immediately put his talents to work, motivating and empowering students through his volunteerism at McKay High School. Serving for many years as the Aspire coordinator, he assisted students in achieving their educational and career aspirations. Because of his leadership, the Dream Center continues to provide career and college resources, guidance, and scholarships to high school students today. In 2012, Ronnie's dedication was recognized with a Crystal Apple Award for his work within the Salem-Keizer School District. When asked about his passion for giving back to the community, he responded that as the first in his family to graduate college, he understood he was in debt not only to his parents, but to all the others who helped him, saying, "That is why I have dedicated my life to helping others. My parents always reminded me that I was in debt which I could never repay." Over the years, he has paid that debt back by volunteering for many organizations, including the National Council of Education, National Teachers Association, NAACP, Be Black Foundation, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity, Coalition of Churches, Stronger Together, and Salem One. His deepest desires for the Salem-Keizer community are that a revival will erupt in our community, one where families will be restored, the aged will be protected, souls will be saved, and our young people will be empowered. We are in awe of Pastor Brooks's passion, and our community is blessed by his service. Let's see what happened when we surprised 2025 Distinguished Service Award recipient Pastor Ronnie Brooks at a dinner at the Salem First Free Methodist Church.
Shh, we're in church.
Hey, what in the world? How did y'all, what's this?
Pastor Ronnie,
Uh-huh.
on behalf of the Salem Chamber and the entire community of Salem, you are a bridge builder. You bring people together, you believe in bigger things, and you love your people in Salem. You love the McKay community. You believe so deeply in youth. And Ronnie, on the night of March 8th, our community gets to celebrate you as Salem's Distinguished Service Award winner.
Oh my Lord. Hello, Mary.
You chose to invest over 10 years of your life in the students at McKay, to challenge them, to give them hope. It was an absolute honor to see you in that role, and we're so thankful for you.
I think 15 years ago when we met, and it was at the SOS Club, when somebody called you and asked you to help them, and you just showed up. And I've been watching you for 15 years showing up. We came here, you built a church in your home, and you grew that church. My friend, my pastor, and my brother, just proud of you and all that you do, man. God bless you, man.
God bless you, my brother. You got me good.
I got you good. That's cool. You're the type of person that's not going to let anybody not feel like they can contribute and that they belong. And I'm just so grateful that we've been able to be side by side in so many different ways. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
I think about the song that Dr. Martin Luther King would always quote, "If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with the word of song, if I can show somebody that he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain." Every time something good happens or even something difficult happens, just say, "To God be the glory." So we thank God.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce Pastor Ronnie Brooks as a 2025 Distinguished Service Award recipient.
And all God's people said amen. It is always a privilege and an honor to stand amongst giants. You know, I couldn't do half of the things that I do if I didn't have a good helpmate. And I'd like for my wife to stand, who gives me the opportunity She told me today, she said, Ronnie, are you getting excited? And I said, no. This is a difficult day. My son is in ICU there in Dallas, Texas. He has sarcoidosis, which has attacked his lungs, his stomach, and he called me just prior to me coming, and he said, Daddy, all I want you to do is to let me see you stand and speak. And so it was a tough task coming, but when I got a chance to be by myself today, the Lord told me, said, now, you've been preaching for 40 years. He said, now you got to live what you preach. You got to believe that I'm able. And so as I stand here today, I recognize that I'm standing on the shoulders of my grandfather, young Edgar Brooks, who was a slave. He was freed in 1865 there in Galveston, Texas, migrated to a town called Decatur, Texas. And there he started raising crops and opened a corner grocery store. And he built the first black church in Decatur, Texas. I was given the opportunity 5 years ago to go preach at that church, stand in that pulpit, because the church turned 100 years of age. You know, it's always good to do good. And so as I think about the shoulders that I stand on the shoulders of my mom and my dad, Margie and Paul Brooks. And I remember when I went to college, my dad told me, he said, now, Ronnie, I want you to know one thing. He said, don't you go out and embarrass me. He said, now, I don't want to get a call from your teacher. I said, Daddy, I'm going to college. I'm not still in high school. He said, well, they better call me when you act up. And you know, as I thought about that, my dad worked 4 jobs in order that I might go to college. My mom worked on 2 jobs, and they were common laborers, but they were giants in my life. And then when my mom passed while I was in college there at East Texas State University, my dad had to become mother and father. And I got a chance to take care of him before he passed away. And when I think about all of the things that he sacrificed in order that I might have, I look back, and that's why I always say that I'm in debt that I could never repay. And so as I think about my life, think about the things that I've accomplished, if it had not been for the Lord on my side, I don't know where I'd be. That's why I remember the scripture that my mother loved so much. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth Israel shall neither sleep nor slumber. I remember the last song that my mother sang prior to her death. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. I'm an heir of salvation, purchased by God, born of his spirit. I'm just washed in his blood. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Every person that I've been able to help, I always say, to God be the glory. I remember when Mrs. Richardson gave me an opportunity to come and to work at McKay High School. I was there in the grocery store, and the man asked me, he said, do you work? I said, well, I just got a job. He said, where are you going to work? I said, McKay High School. Oh, you better be careful. I said, be careful of what? He said, just be careful. And so he saw me in the grocery store some months later, and he said, are you still at McKay? I said, yes. He said, you still smiling? I said, yeah, I enjoyed every day that I walked through those doors. Because when you walked through the doors of McKay, you didn't see obstacles, you saw opportunity. And so I enjoyed all of those days that I was there at McKay High School, because there were so many opportunities. Even though sometimes I would get tired, sometimes the kids would upset me, I'd go in there and I'd get upset, and you can't just do anything, so I'd have to go in there and shut the door, and the kids would come in my office because I always kept a lot of goodies, and they'd be knocking on the door, and I said, not yet. So I am so elated to receive this, because I didn't get this by myself. I have a wonderful church of people who give me opportunities to go out. They support me. And so I just want all of the members of To God Be the Glory, would you please stand? My daughter, she and I were speaking with one another as she was going to Austin, as she was going down there, and she said, Daddy, I'm going down there and we're going to be marching. I said, what you marching for, baby? She said, we're going to have to make sure that the money keeps coming so that we might continue to give scholarships. We got to stand for education. We got to stand and make sure that our kids are able to receive a great education. And I said, well, go get them, girl. And I'm so blessed. I'm blessed because of the fact of each one of you. I'm blessed because of the fact that we live in a great city where people don't look at you for what you can't do, but they look at you for what you can do. And I think about all of the fact that, this city, Salem, has a lot to offer. But we got to all come together realizing that we all need one another. None of us can do this by ourselves. And so I say to you, as I prepare to go to my seat, I remember a song that my mother sang not prior to her death, but when we were able to burn the mortgage at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. I've seen the lightning flash. I've heard the thunder roar. I felt some breakers dashing, trying to conquer my soul, but I heard the voice of Jesus saying, still to fight on. He promised never to leave us alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He promised never to leave us alone. So Salem, we can be great, because we know that our God will never leave us alone. So no matter what we stand against, our God said, I'll never leave you alone. May God bless you and may God keep you is my eternal prayer. And thank you for this.
Well, Ronnie, you had a dream of starting a revival in Salem, and boy, I think you just started it. Can I get an amen? Wow. And I don't know if anybody else is finding this, but I find there's a lot of dust in the air tonight in the convention center. Holy cow. A rising star in our local financial advisory industry, Derek Gilbert is respected and admired for his financial expertise at Anthem Wealth Strategies. But his spirit of giving and building genuine relationships spreads far beyond the walls of his office downtown. Derek's kindness and supportive care for others shine through to everyone he connects with, including the multitude of boards and organizations he volunteers to serve. Along with protecting the Clear Lake neighborhood as a volunteer lieutenant with Marion County Fire District No. 1 for more than 20 years, Derek currently serves on the boards of the Salem Main Street Association and Darian's Gift, the latter of which creates moments of joy for families in treatment for childhood cancer. Derek's extensive record of community service also includes serving as the chair for the Gilbert House Children's Museum and participation in West Salem Little League, Upward Youth Sports, Marion Polk Food Share, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Family Building Blocks, and CASA, among others. One of Derek's most notable recent achievements has been helping to revive the tradition of the Downtown Salem Holiday Parade as part of the Salem Main Street Association. Along with his Main Street colleagues, Derek deserves our thanks for the countless hours he gives to this event, which spreads joy to Salem area families every holiday season. Here's what one of Derek's award nominators had to say about him. His community involvement aside, Derek's personality is his finest quality. He is the first to step in when someone needs help. He is friendly and enthusiastic. Never one to shy away from hard work or toil, he is encouraging and open, a cheerleader and supporter of local businesses. He is frequently sought out by members of the community for advice and assistance. Let's see what happened when we surprised our second 2025 Distinguished Service Award recipient, Derek Gilbert, while he and dear friend Jim Vu were tending to important post-holiday parade wrap-up business at Isaac's downtown.
And here we go. Ready to roll?
Let's go.
Here we go. Yeah, guess we're going in this way. Okay, guys. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Derek, you do so much for this community. You are one of the most humble dudes we know. You love Salem like we love Salem, and you make this place better for everybody. Derek, on the evening of Saturday, March 8th, our community is going to celebrate you as a Distinguished Service Award winner.
This is so hard to hide from you. Love you, Dad.
Derek, we are thrilled to be celebrating you on March 8th for not just the work that you've done in downtown and not just the work that you've done as a volunteer firefighter, but for the body of work that you bring to the city and for making Salem a better place for all of us to reside.
It takes a lot to shut me up, but this is a moment. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Derek, I am so proud of you. We've really got to know each other lighting up downtown for Christmas, seeing how much passion and love you have for the community, the way you put the community and others and the well-being of others above yourself is recognized and valued so much by those around you. Congratulations, buddy.
We are so proud of you for everything that you do by leading by example and being such a strong pillar of our community, but pillar of our family. We're super proud of you and we love you.
I'm proud of you, Dad. You're always like, when I need to like talk to somebody, you're always there, and like you're always lead by a great example, and that's how fun when I talk to you. Love you.
Congratulations, Dad. It's always a good time to hang up lights with you and have fun with you.
No, thank you.
I couldn't be more proud. And as your father, who can't be with us today, he's up there smiling down at you and overflowing with pride. You've always made your dad and I extremely proud for your servant's heart, your kind heart, your love of family and friends, and your community. I love you.
You know, after 13 years of working together, I've seen firsthand, how much you dedicate to our community and how it affects you, like how it weighs on you. You're always thinking about how to help people, how you can get involved, how you can get other people involved. And I've just always been so impressed by your commitment. And I think that this is a well-deserved award. And I'm really proud of you.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the club.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to introduce Derek Gilbert as a 2025 Distinguished Service Award recipient.
Well, I was nervous before this speech, but then I saw myself crying on stage, Andrew, and then Andrew and Ronnie wrecked the bar. So now the nervous is even a little bit more. But thank you to the Salem Chamber for giving me this award. It's so incredibly humbling. I'm so proud to be up here. And there's so many people I need to thank, but right off the bat, to my incredible smoldering wife, Renee, I love you. You're my best friend. I could not do any of this without you. You're my staunchest supporter, my most fierce advocate. I love you so much, and thank you. To my boys, Tanner and Parker, you were kind, you were caring, you were funny. Being your dad makes me a better man every single day, and I am so proud of you. I love you so much. To my teammate Adrian, you've been putting up with me for 13 years. You've made our business better. You care so deeply about our clients, and you're so family at this point. Thank you for being such a constant in our lives. I'm very grateful for you. To my family. Family is absolutely most important to me. You've helped grow and mold me. You've been there for me in tough times and good. Thank you so much for being here and helping me celebrate this. To my fire brothers and sisters, I'm so proud to be a firefighter. It's given me so much. I love being able to give back through that. Thank you for mentoring me. Thank you for pouring into me. And mostly, thank you for keeping me safe so I get to go home after every shift to my family. Thank you so much. To my work family and Anthem strategists, you guys are amazing. I absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much. Make going to work so much fun and having an impact. And to the other volunteers, like I get to stand up here, but there are so many people that have helped me do what I do. If you guys had a part in the parade or the lights the last few years, you raise your hand really quick, just out of curiosity. Thank you. Between boards, planning cornhole tournaments, helping with Darians, there are so many people that I'm surrounded by with that make Salem amazing, and I'm just so proud to be up here on behalf of that. And last but not least, to my mom and dad, and here we go. My dad was a first citizen of Corvallis in 2009, which when I was learning this, it became so full circle. I was raised from a young age, you give back. You care about your community. You put others above yourselves. Thank you for instilling those values in me, and hope I get to carry those forward to my boys, and I wish my dad could be here. So, thank you. So it's, for those that know me, you've heard me talk about the broken road. And for me, that's just not metaphorical, it's actually pretty literal. In 2002, I was mountain biking over in Bend, and there was a little bump on the road. So I figured, hey, I'll go off of this, try and show off to the friends I was with. And the surprise of no one that knows my coordination, I had a pretty bad wreck. And the end result of that was that I completely shattered 2 vertebrae. I broke 7 ribs. I bruised my heart. I punctured my lung. I actually crashed hard enough I bit through a tooth. And when the surgeon was preparing me for my surgery, he told me there was a very likely possibility when I woke up, I would not have my legs. Now, fortunately, after a 13-hour surgery, he saved my life, and he saved my legs. I'm so incredibly blessed and grateful because my spine literally went like that. That was a tough moment. But with moments of adversity come opportunity. And that was presented to me again a few years later. I signed up as a volunteer firefighter at State and Fire in 2006 and achieved a dream of being a paid firefighter for State and Fire District in 2009. But as a family was growing, we had to pursue other opportunities, but I learned the hard way that my fused vertebrae would be a glass ceiling for me in the paid fire service. I had job offers from Portland Fire and Tuolumne Valley Fire and Rescue that were taken away when they learned about my vertebrae. Another brutally hard moment. But now I stand in front of you guys today, and this is quite literally about the happiest I've ever been. I have an amazing family that supports me in all of my crazy endeavors. I achieved another dream of starting a business, and I live in an absolutely wonderful community. So I look back on those moments, and the moment were so incredibly tough and challenging. I have learned now with perspective the amazing opportunity that came from them. So when I was getting ready for this, it made me then think about Salem. Salem's an amazing place. You know, being from Corvallis, it took quite a while to feel like home, and now it truly does feel like home. But the potential that Salem has is incredible. And because of the broken road that it's been through, we have challenges, we have opportunities. We can power through that to opportunities we haven't even seen yet. But the biggest thing I've noticed since I've lived here is a consistent decline in volunteer spirit. You know, I signed up with Marion County Fire District number 1. We had over 120 volunteer firefighters. Now we're down to a little less than 30% of that. Every organization I speak to is either down on volunteer hours or dollars. So here's the challenge tonight. We're being inspired. We're being energized by people not just up on the stage, but people in this room. I look around the room and see what people have done for Salem. I'm inspired, and that's one of the things that inspired me to be here today. So here's the challenge. Let's go out tomorrow and let's inspire others. If we don't get more people involved in Salem, it won't become the town we know it can be. So let's take this energy. Let's take these words. Let's go out there and let's share with others. Could you imagine the impact if because of a conversation we have with one person, they become a sustaining donor, or they go out and they give an hour to something they're passionate about? That is what will take Salem to the next level. So tonight, let's enjoy. This is such a wonderful night. On behalf of my family, I am so grateful to be here. But let's get out there, and I'll see you out there tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Indeed, inspiring. And Derek, I'm in. Congratulations to our outstanding young professional, Andrew, and Distinguished Service Award recipients, Ronnie and Derek. The phrase that comes to mind for me is humble service. The culmination of tonight is the First Citizen Award. The First Citizen Award was created in 1950 to honor those who serve and lead Salem. Being recognized as a First Citizen is an incredible display of appreciation for individuals who have committed their lives to service without any expectation of recognition. The First Citizen is considered Salem's most prestigious award, and the individuals who have received it form an honor roll of the city's most prominent historical leaders. With us this evening are some of those incredible individuals who have been recognized as Salem's First Citizens in the past. We would love to have each of you stand, remain standing, and be recognized as we call your name. Once we complete this list, please join me in an ovation loud enough to be heard by those no longer able to join us. 2008, Kathy and Dar Goss. 2005, Gladys Blum. 2003, Anna Peterson. 1998, Dick Withnell. 1983, Richard Seidemann. Thank you all for continuing to support this community. The 2025 First Citizen is known across Salem for bringing people together with a powerful smile, a kind heart, and an unparalleled drive for inclusion. Let's hear a bit more from a collection of community members, each of whom share a few thoughts about Greggery Peterson's impact in Salem.
The Salem First Citizen is someone that everybody in the community can look up to. They've got attributes of engagement, inclusion, inspiration.
When I think about First Citizen, I think of the many citizens in our community that do so much work behind the scenes, and they're not looking for accolades, they're not looking for recognition, but they are certainly deserving, and I believe Gregg is one of those people.
When you mention Gregg Peterson, the first thing that comes to my mind is this huge smile. And the smile doesn't go away, it stays on his face because he is the most caring person.
I would describe my dad as compassionate. He is so funny, and he is someone who seeks to bring joy into any environment that he's in.
Gregg the man, he is somebody who is a deep thinker. He's truly passionate about wanting to see people feel connected and feel like they can grow.
He believes in the goodness of this city, the goodness of the people of Salem Kaiser.
He is looking for the people at the margins and in the center for everyone to have a chance to rise up.
Probably the most committed person to the city and area around Salem of anybody that I've known in the last 20 years.
He will do anything he can possibly do to help make this place a better place for everybody.
And he doesn't just believe in it, he invests in it.
The guy just lives and breathes helping people do better and be better.
No matter what, he's optimistic, he's positive, he's motivating you, he's encouraging you. And I don't know, there's something about his energy that does it all.
With a deep faith and personal belief that Salem can be better tomorrow than we find it today.
He's been a businessman, a small business owner. He's been an advocate. He's been in the nonprofit sector. He worked with nonprofits in the community to champion them and elevate them.
He is a voice for what's good and right and positive in our community. So as an advocate, he's always engaging the conversation for positive change. And then as a bridge builder, he puts his words into action.
If he says he wants to do something, he'll do it, and he makes it happen.
He works full-time job at the Kroc Center, full-time job with the Be Black Foundation, and a full-time job just being a community guy.
Be Black is an amazing foundation. It was created out of a dream that God gave Gregg.
and it's specifically there to support up-and-coming small business owners.
How do we make Salem better? How do we develop the next generation of Black leaders? How do we provide access to those who want access and need access? And who can we continue to connect to ensure that this mission continues to move forward?
There's a lot of people that I think are ready for positions of leadership and have positions of leadership because Gregg has set them up so much and encouraged them.
And it's really hard to say no to him. And that's one thing you just have to know about Gregg is once you're in his universe, you're gonna get sucked in.
Cooking is a passion of his, and that's another way that he just shares that passion. And so you had to have opportunity to have his cinnamon rolls or any type of dessert, you gotta get some of that.
Oh, those cinnamon rolls.
The cinnamon rolls at the Broadway Cafe were a gem. Everyone came for a cinnamon roll.
Oh, you bite into them and they just melt in your mouth.
I don't know how to describe them other than
They're bomb. Cinnamon rolls are good.
and I really want one right now.
When I reflected on the committee's work to select Gregg Peterson, they were looking for somebody that brought community together.
When I was told that he got First Citizen, I was like, wow. You know, this is Black History Month. This is truly a Black History moment and a very, very deserving moment for Gregg.
There are movers and shakers in our community who may not necessarily be in front of a camera or be on stage all the time, but are slowly navigating and moving in different pockets of this community that is helping Salem grow.
He's always doing something for someone. He's always supporting someone, and he's always elevating people in the community to be successful. And that's really what the First Citizenship Award is all about.
I think every culture has to have someone who takes the lead and takes that role of making sure that they do better.
I am proud that I get to walk through Salem and people say, wait, you're Gregg Peterson's daughter? Oh my gosh, I remember this one time at Broadway Cafe or at Independence Grill that he impacted me because of these things. It's just something to be proud of.
Mr. Gregg Peterson, congratulations on being the first citizen of Salem this year.
I can't think of anyone more deserving of this recognition.
We're so proud of you and grateful for you.
You are very deserving, and you are a very special man in this community.
Enjoy this. It's for you. You've earned it, and we are all so happy and proud.
You are truly deserving of this honor, my brother. We are so proud of you. Love you.
I wouldn't be here without you. I love you, I'm proud of you. Thank you for everything you do for everyone around you.
Now I want a cinnamon roll. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Hang on, we're going to talk more about Gregg. Have a seat, and you can do that again in a moment. Thank you for your cooperation. Born in suburban Los Angeles in 1957, this year's First Citizen was raised by a single mother along with his 8 siblings. Herself a small business owner, Gregg's curiosity for entrepreneurship dates back to 9 years of age. Gregg's story is inspirational for many reasons. But Gregg's journey was not one of ease and convenience, but rather one that included incarceration, addiction, and ultimately, redemption. Greggery moved his family to Salem to be closer to his wife's family. With the backing of friends Don Jensen and Chuck Sides, he was asked to co-build the Broadway Cafe. It was the beginning of his voyage into service work and community building. Countless young people have worked under Gregg's tutelage, many of whom would have had a much different path in life without Gregg's storytelling and direction. His entrepreneurial roots were showcased again in the establishment of the Independence Grill, again welcoming in individuals seeking a better pathway forward in their professional and personal lives. Where minds are yearning for wisdom, Gregg poured into their cups. Listing Gregg's accomplishments and noting all the organizations he shared his time and talents with is substantial. Past president, past vice president, and past treasurer of the Salem Kaiser chapter of the NAACP. Director for the Salem Leadership Foundation. Marion County Commission for Children and Families, Marion County Reentry Initiative. Director for the Salem Area Chamber of Commerce. Director for United Way. Community Advisory Committee for Liberty House. Community Advisory Committee to the President of Chemeketa Community College. McKay and McNary Young Life. NA, AA, SOS Clubs. Volunteer for Marion County Juvenile Detention Center, Executive Chef and Director of Food Services for the Salvation Army Kroc Center, and founder and executive director of the Be Black Foundation. As a restaurateur and community builder, he knows many people associate him as a businessman and connector of people. He'd be the first to tell you, seeing his family's success fills his cup the most. One of his biggest accomplishments is being able to be called Jessica Peterson's dad. Gregg states to have been through so much struggle, difficulties, challenges, and barriers, and to have received so much grace, kindness, and forgiveness. This all drives me to share that journey with as many people as I possibly can. A peer stated, when you meet with Gregg, he makes you feel like you are a part of something big. He's made me want to give more of myself to things I believe in the most. He is grounded, certainly, but he sees where we could be and where we ought to be. And he boldly asks for your help to get there. When I'm with Gregg, my arm can't help but be raised. And there I go, volunteering again, knowing I'm doing something special and valued. When reflecting on what he'd like to see improved in Salem Kaiser, Pastor Peterson wishes to see better education pathways for kids across our diverse community. He noted that the two individuals who inspired him most have been the late Mike McLaren, former Salem Chamber CEO, and dear friend Sam Skillern, recently retired from Salem Leadership Foundation. Both men exhibited the spirit of Salem and spirit of shalom. With a servant's heart, mission-driven leadership skills, and unwavering faith always fueling him, Gregg's spirit and belief in Salem's future are equally inspiring and motivating. Let's see what happened when we surprised our 2025 First Citizen Award recipient, Gregg Peterson, during his monthly nonprofit leaders meeting at Azul's Taco House.
Ready, set, go. Stand and be recognized.
Gregg. Hey.
You gonna cry?
This community is stronger and better each day because of over 30 years of work. You love every person here, regardless of color, nationality, religion, age. You have brought this community together like no other man that we know. On the night of Saturday, March 8th, the Salem Chamber and the entire Salem community will celebrate you as our 2025 First Citizen.
Oh, now he's speechless. Greg, you love the youth of our community. You love the neighborhoods of our community. You love the schools of our community. And you've been working your butt off for these 30 years to make it a better place. Thank you for doing that. I stand on your shoulders. Yes, we all do. And I bet we're heavy, huh? I bet we're heavy. But it's so well deserved.
You are an entrepreneur, a bold entrepreneur. You bring people to work in your environment so that they have hope. And then you share your kindness and your wisdom with them. You share it with the business community each and every day. And you show us an incredible example, much like Sam and past First Citizens, of how we all should emulate and live our lives. Greg, we cannot wait to celebrate you on the night of Saturday, March 8th.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's no way we can recognize all the work you've done for so many people in so many different ways, but take this as a small way, hermano, and enjoy this day. It's going to be about you and everybody behind you and around you. So, muchas gracias. Thank you.
It's easy in Salem. It's easy. When you got people who love this city, who care for it, who invest in it, and you get to watch them and just follow them, right? We get to do this. It's a blessing that we get to be a part of a community where we get to serve. The need is so great. People are so burdened, so hurting, so lost, and we get to do this work. And God continues to just provide a space and a time to do that. So I'm like, I just came for tacos.
Accompanied to the stage by his daughter Jessica, please stand with me and salute Salem's 2025 First Citizen, Gregg Peterson!
Hey, Scott, where's my words at, Scott? I left my speech at the table. I'm humbled right now. No, I don't need it right now. Thank you. Oh, gosh. So I never use a speech, but I wrote a speech today because I didn't want to sit here and weep for 15 minutes or so. That was really well done. Thank you. Gosh. You know, there's a quote that says, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And that comes to recognize that you have to surround yourself around people who are smarter than you are so you can be challenged and so you can grow. So I know I'm not the smartest person in this room. Thank you. I was going to walk up here with a child's book that I picked up about 2 weeks ago. Through our foundation, we pass out books for Black history. It's American history. I don't want to say Black history. I want to say we pass out books for American history, but it's a history we should share together, and I don't think we share it enough. 1 month is not sharing history, so we need to celebrate it all the time. But that book, I was just going through books, and the book was a kid's book about being you. And it's how we encourage kids to be themselves. We encourage them to be the best they possibly can. We tell them be courageous, be strong, be motivated, be driven. And it keeps me in a place of humility to remember where I came from. I'm a product of a single mom who raised 9 kids. By 1963, she had 7 kids. It was right before I can't think of the word now. I was going to say Civil War, and it's not the Civil War. It's Civil Rights, before the Civil Rights Act was signed and stuff. And it was a difficult time being raised in the 50s and the 60s with all the racial tension, all the hate, all the despair, and then a single mom raising 5 young boys and 2 young girls alone. And she instilled in us value to be determined, and she taught us to always drive to be the best we possibly can, to be better than everybody else, because we had to be, because we had to stand out in front of people and most of the time be judged before we even stepped into a room. But she lived that life herself. She had a restaurant. She was a restaurateur in the 60s. It got burned down during the riots in 1964. And my uncle's barbershop got burned down, so his 2 black-owned businesses that was destroyed in that time. But she persevered. She remarried. Her and her husband started another business. They became painting contractors, and they built a whole other business. 5 or 6 years later, she got a job working for the County of Los Angeles, and she stayed on that job until she retired. My mom was a hard-working, determined woman who loved her kids, invested in her kids, and did everything she can to build her family. The one thing I know about my mom is she always knew that the one thing we always had was family. And the most important thing to me is family. And I get to share that. I'm here humbled with a whole bunch of people in this room that I've got to be a part of a community for 30 years. I can sit here for about 45 minutes and just name names of leaders in this community who inspired me, who encouraged me, who walked alongside of me. But I want to do this, right? Because they said a lot of stuff in their speech. But there's a guy in the room, and his name is Don Jensen. Don Jensen, will you please stand? I know he's in here somewhere, and I can't, there he is back there. Don Jensen is my guardian angel. He saw something in me. I was just 3 years sober, and he saw a passion and a joy in me that made him want to invest in me. And him and Chuck Sides decided they want to invest in me to build a business. And they helped me and inspired me and encouraged me to build a Broadway Cafe. And that was a dream of mine at 9 years old. At 38 years old, it was absolutely impossible for me to own a business. I'd struggled with alcoholism and addiction for a lot of years, and I came to Salem, and I found myself here homeless at the Union Gospel Mission. And I'll tell you, the truth is, in hindsight, the best thing ever happened to me was being homeless. I didn't think it at the time, but I 100% know that God had to get me to a place of humility where he can use me and get me to serve him. And then he started placing angels on my path and directing me and guiding me in my life. I realized that in that journey, in that restaurant, it wasn't a gift for me to keep, but a gift for me to share. Through organizations like Young Life, Salem Leadership Foundation, and other leaders, I started to find and be a part of a community. And I think it started with Sam Skillerin, and I got a shout out to Sam. Sam Skillerin and Salem Leadership Foundation wanted to invest in young kids. And we often think about what's best for kids, but we never include kids in that conversation. Salem Leadership Foundation thought it'd be best, maybe we should just invite kids into the room. So for like 2 weeks, they took middle school kids. They grabbed my daughter and grabbed some middle school kids, and they asked them every day, what do you need? How do we empower you? How do we help you? How do we raise you up? And I was just blown away by leaders coming together and really wanting to impact community, but involving the people who you're trying to impact. I've realized that's my journey. That people saw me and found a way and wanted to empower me, so they were able to invest in me and raise me up. For me, they're beacons of light, right? And it's a journey, and I really believe that God places people on our path for a reason and a purpose, exactly when we need them. And I'm encouraged by that. I remember sitting in my restaurant and beginning leadership, and there's a prayer in Chronicles. It lists who begot who, begot who, begot who, begot who, begot who begot who, and then it comes to a man named Jabez. And Jabez prayed to God and asked God to increase my territory so I can better do your will. And then it went back to who begot who, begot who, begot who, begot who, begot who. But God heard that man's prayer because he prayed an unselfish prayer to better serve God. And when I read that and heard that, that became my prayer. And begot's important, right? Because we talk about the birth of something. We talk about an existence of something. Somebody brought something in. And I'm in a room of people who begot, right? Congratulations to the class of 2025, First Citizens Banquet. Can I get a hand for all our awardees, please? I get to be a part, and I get to be a part, and to get to do something is important for me because I don't got to do it. I get to do it, and it's a blessing to do that. But I get to be a part of leadership within Salem, and in that journey that I began, that's what I found out is that we get to begot people, to invest in people, to place ourselves in front of people, and that's the journey that we're on. I got a couple people here in this room. I got to first shout out. My twin brother's here. Now the story is it God did something, he thought it was good. So he did it twice. Any other twins in the room? I mean, and I'm honored to have my twin brother here. He's here with his wife, Yali. They came up from California to be here to honor me and stuff like that. I appreciate that. There's not many people in this room who've seen my journey from the beginning. I come from really humble beginnings, growing up in Los Angeles, growing up in Compton, gangs and crime and all the things that God brought me through, right, to prepare me to be here. There's a preparation that has to exist for leaders to lead and stuff, and I truly believe that God brought me to that place. But I had to see hardship, had to go through some hardship so I can appreciate it and value it differently. At my table is my daughter's mom, who helped me raise this remarkable young woman right here. And that's not a joke, right? I'm in the hotel tonight. I'm First Citizen. I walk to the front desk. I say, hi, how you doing? They say, hi. I said, okay. I said, I'm Jessica Peterson's dad. Oh, yeah, we love Jessica. Oh, yeah. It's like, really? It's like, okay. So, but no joke, though, right? When you come from where I come from, and I know, my greatest accomplishment is getting to be her dad. She could have, and I have to say this, I don't know, and I caught the bus here. I came here on Greyhound, right? I think 3 days to get here on a Greyhound bus to come to Salem. Heard Salem, first thing you think about, witches and all that stuff. Different Salem, wasn't that one? But as I arrived and traveled here, I saw the beauty of what Oregon was. I come from Los Angeles and the streets of Compton and stuff, and just to see the beauty and the waterfalls and come through the mountains, and I mean, I was really getting excited about being here. I had no understanding of what God's purpose was for me, none whatsoever. But God brought me here for a purpose, and he brought me here to use me, and he brought me here Because I could have raised her in LA and it'd been a total different thing. He brought me here to be a better parent, to be a better husband to my wife, to be a better person in my community. And I get to do this, right? I realized in the restaurant industry and what I got to do, I realized as a restaurant owner, as a business owner, is that business owners have a responsibility to invest back in their communities. And that's what the Broadway Cafe became. It became a community restaurant. Bo St. Peter's was sitting on there. I met Bo St. Peter's when Bo was fresh out of college. And he was doing wildlife. It wasn't even young life yet. He was doing high school kids. He wasn't growing up himself, but he was bringing kids up. And they were making investments in kids. And those kids came every week because they got cinnamon rolls. Faithfully. And being able to be a part of that, and to be a part of watching leaders like Bo St. Peter's, Jeremy Williams, leading with Morris Dirks from Salem Alliance Church, and just the people that I got to lead with just made me feel comfortable. It gave me a purpose in Salem. Watching Sam Skiller and being part of Salem Leadership Foundation gave me a purpose. I'm in recovery. In 2 days, I'll celebrate 30 years sober. And I can't call names, but I know I got friends who's anonymous who are here celebrating with me. So to all my anonymous friends, but that's the journey and path that I've been on, right? It's a journey and path that I get to do. And I started my service in 12-step programs. I started my service in Salem in AA, making coffee, emptying ashtrays, and opening doors so people can get into meetings. And it enriched me so much, because at that point in my life, I didn't feel worth being valued or deserving of anybody thanking me for anything. But that was the beginning. And now I get to sit here in front of you guys. But anyway, let me do this. I want to thank my family. I'm one of 9 siblings. I have 8 siblings. First and foremost to my sister Ann, my brother Tony, my brother Chris, and my brother Robert. God rest their souls. They each had an impact in my life for who I am today. And I thank God for them. To my brother Walter, my sister Sean, and my sister Jennifer, and my twin brother Jeffrey, I owe a debt because they are still here supporting me to this day. And I thank you for them. And I thank you for family, because I recognize that that's my value, that's my superpower is family. Everything that I get to do in Salem, I don't do it as a community partner, I do it as part of the family. Somebody said something earlier about Salem, this is a great community. You guys have no idea how great this community is. If you've been here as long as I have, there's no other city like Salem. I've been here 30 years watching nonprofit organizations partner collaboratively, working together, supporting one another, all going to each other's events, all taking money out of their pockets, supporting one another, all standing behind each other, all focused on education for our kids, for our families. I've watched organizations like Church at the Park, who invest in our homeless populations, not to just provide shelter, but to help raise the community from the bottom up. Can I get a hand for Church at the Park, please? I am privileged today to work at the Salvation Army at the Kroc Center in Salem. I got 2 tables back there of an amazing team of people who every day come to work trying to realize or figure out how we can better invest in children's lives and how we can make Salem a better community. Can I get a hand for the Salvation Army Kroc Center? And I can sit here for 30 minutes and say Liberty House, United Way, family building blocks, so many organizations and community partners in the city who come together, who continue to build and invest in Salem. That's who we are, right? I have the privilege to work with four sheriffs, 2 great chief of police, 4 superintendents of schools, 3 presidents for Chemeketa College, 4 mayors, and I get to watch leadership change, but I still see the same impact in this community, is that we still get to work together, and we still keep trying to raise the bar for those who are less fortunate, who are at the bottom. That's our superpower. And my encouragement to all of us is let's not stop. Right? We still have work to do, right? We still have work to do. I was a little disappointed when I heard the terminology about dismantling diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's all I know about Salem. That's what Salem is. When I see Salem Leadership Foundation bring together 500 or 600 people in this room from different faiths, from different churches, from different denominations, all in the same room, all with the same hope to save community. When I see our homeless partners, Church in the Park, help everybody, anybody, whether you're addicted or not, whether you're clean or sober, or that's diversity, that's inclusion, right? That's who we are. We can't dismantle that. We have to invest in that. We have to invest in our partners. I've been so fortunate in the years I've been here to do these things. I got a young lady sitting at this table here, Deborah Hinchin. She's not going to stand. But Deborah Hinchin has been with me 25 years. I've ran 6 or 7 restaurants, and everywhere I go, I take Deborah. She's loyal, she's hardworking, and she's dependable, but she's my friend. And I got friends all over here who are dedicated and care about this community. And I'm honored to be here. I'm blessed to be here and to keep doing this work. I want to do this, though, and we need your help. Right? I founded Be Black Foundation. God woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. A friend of mine, his name was Levi Harris, and Levi Harris was a pastor of a local church here in town. And a few years ago, Levi got sick. And Levi was a mentor to me, to Pastor Brooks, to my pastor, to a lot of men, to God be the glory. And it was all of a sudden. And I knew we were praying for him, but I didn't know how sick he was. But then we started praying harder for him. So I called him one day. I said, well, how sick are you? And he told me. And I'm thinking like a week later, he was gone. And it was devastating to me that somebody so vibrant, so strong, so committed to this community, all of a sudden is gone like that. And it left a hole in my heart. Our men's prayer on Fridays, Reverend Levi Harris prayer ministry. We want to always remember him. But God put on my heart, what happens when you're gone? Who's going to take your place? Who's going to fill your shoes? Because I've been here for a long time. And he woke me up and said, I want you to start this foundation. I want you to develop next generation of black leadership. I want you to invest in leaders to change. Doing Black Lives Matter, I went to a rally. A young man named Greg Simpson pulled together this whole community. There was more people for that one single rally that day in Salem than ever was here. And I got to speak at that rally. And what I realized in that environment, because that was my 3rd time. I was raised in Watts. I got to be in the Watts riots when my mom's restaurant burned down. I got to go back to California again, and I was in the Rodney King riots. And now I come back 40 years later, and now we're doing it all over again. And I'm recognizing we keep repeating the same thing. We keep finding ourselves in the same places. Something has to change. And as much as I appreciate that we have to voice how we feel, what we're going through, it doesn't change anything, right? We're angry and we want to be heard, but it doesn't change anything. We have to legislate change. We have to invest in change. We have to participate in change. Be Black Foundation is an investment. We're developing leaders to be a part of, not a part separate from. We want to develop leaders to be at the table. We want leaders to sit at a seat and help influence change from the inside, right? We need to do that in all our communities. There's a conversation about developing a community of belonging. It's a thing. right? We have a whole group of leaders in this community who come together through different organizations developing a sense of belonging. Our Salem County School District is trying to develop a sense of belonging for our students. It was disappointing to look at the data and only 1/3 of our kids in Salem County School District feel like they belong. That's disheartening. If our kids don't feel like they belong, how are anybody else gonna feel like they belong? We need to make an investment back into our schools, back into our students, so all of our kids feel like they belong. That's our responsibility, right? It's be you, right? It's we tell kids to be the best you can, but we have to support those kids in doing that. We have to be us too, though, right? Be black is our own engagement, right? We're not asking anybody for anything. We're asking all of us to step up to engage, right? Our leadership, we're developing leaders through Be Black Foundation to position them on boards and committees. And we have leaders in this room who are sitting on school board and city council and in United Way and organizations, and we're trying to position ourselves so we can be a part of this community. And we can build that more diverse community that Salem is, right? This is Salem. Maybe you don't know. That's Salem. That's peace. How do we create an environment of peace where we all belong? That's what I want. That's my hope and my dream, is that we can come together in this room, in this space with all these leaders who come together, and we can develop a community of peace where everybody feels like they fit. No, not feel. Everybody fits and they belong. I don't want you to feel it. I want you to know you fit and you belong. When I did that speech and I stood in front of those crowds of people, I fit in Salem because Salem embraced me. I feel like I belong in Salem because the leaders, and I can call anybody from the chief of police, from the mayor, to anybody on any board or organization, and I can have, but black leaders don't feel that way in this community. So I'm trying to show them that we do. I'm trying to elevate them to say, hey, we do fit, we do belong in this space, and we have a right to be here, but we have a responsibility to be here too. We all have a responsibility to lead, and that's what I'm trying to encourage. I'm excited about this opportunity to be Salem's 25th, 74th? Oh, Jessica's here. Come on, Jessica. Come on. That's why she's here. She keeps me balanced and she keeps me in check, right? I'm proud to be Salem's 74th First Citizen. I'm proud of the work that the Salem Chamber of Commerce does to continue to invest in leadership and to recognize leaders in this community. We have to recognize leaders. Our kids need to see it, and we as a community need to see it. I'm here with my pastor, Ronnie Brooks. Ronnie, and there's a story that when I met Ronnie, it was just happenstance. Somebody introduced us and stuff, and we just had a conversation, and I just mentioned Compton. And Ronnie said, oh yeah, my ex-wife was from Compton. Well, we found out he was married to my best friend's sister. So maybe 50 years ago, we probably sit in the same room. But God brought us to Salem, Oregon to serve Salem. And I know there's a lot of people who are implants here who are not from Salem, but are passionate about this community or are here to serve. And we get to embrace that. I just want us to embody everything that we actually are. I'm gonna close with this. The Apostle Paul, sitting in prison, being persecuted for what he believed in, writes a letter to the people in Philippi about finding peace. Philippians 4:4. Rejoice in the Lord always. I say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all that the Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition and with thanksgiving, present your request to God. For the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. And he says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is right, whatever is noble, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about those things. And Paul says, whatever you heard, received, or learned, or seen in me, practice those things, and the God of peace will be with you. That's all I want. Thank you.
What a night. I'm supposed to follow the script, but I'm going to, if the Allied team wouldn't mind, just a couple comments, and then I'll say we're back to the script. First of all, Mike Herron is an incredible leader of this organization this year, and if you haven't gotten to know Mike, he is such a special man. And Mike, thank you for your partnership this year. I know it's in the script coming up, but Laura Dorn, nobody throws a party like you. Laura was at our office Monday after Monday, working with Lane No. By the way, Lane No. She was so worried about tonight. She's sitting right next to her dad, Joe. Lane, you've done an incredible job. Absolutely incredible job. Laura Dorn knows how to bring people together, and this really, the reason we're here is because of the efforts of her and her committee, and we're going to notice them and we'll recognize them, but Laura, thank you so much. Yesterday, we lost a chamber member who took his own life. You may have heard that downtown. Rob Jackman, who I shared quite a few meals with, and I want you to keep him and his family in your prayers. And I'd like you to raise your hand if you're willing to talk to somebody who's going through a tough time. Yeah, there's a lot of hands up. If you find yourself in that situation, let's remember that we have a lot of community around us, and we need to avoid situations like that in the future. This community loves each other, takes care of each other, and they're we need to avoid very permanent answers to temporary challenges that we find in life. Rob, I'm going to miss you very much, and our organization appreciates you being a member. And Carla, your wife, no, Carla, we're here for you. Scott Hosner is not here tonight, and I just want to mention that because Scott and the Allied team are extraordinary at what they do, and I miss Scott being here because this is one of his favorite events. Scott, we're thinking about you and looking forward to you returning to health. Our organization believes so much in public safety, and I want to recognize Chief Trevor Womack for being here, and I'd like him to stand. I'd like Chief Dave Gerboth to please stand. And I'd like Sheriff Nick Hunter to please stand. Tom, why is the Chamber involved in so many of these different things? Well, the Chamber is a lot of things to a lot of different people. And we're involved with our youth leadership project in developing young people. We're involved in every City of Salem budget discussion. We're involved in what's right for this community, and know that you have a place here in this organization. And I look at our two sponsors, the Pioneer Trust Team and Mountain West, what you guys invest in, which seems like financial investment, you're actually investing in community. And I hope you're very proud of what you've seen tonight, and we salute both of you for being willing to invest in events like this. Thank you both. Okay, Allied team, back to the script. I'm supposed to say, wow, what an incredible night. You all know that. Andrew, Ronnie, Derek, and Greg, it is an absolute honor for us as an organization to recognize all of you in your community building. Without leaders like you, we are not necessarily inspired. You grab us, you take us with you, and for each person in this room, I think we leave tonight feeling great optimism for this community. And thank you, all four of you, for your service to this community. Barry Nelson, Salem's best baseball umpire. Barry, it's a pleasure having you back on stage, and you have a voice I could only wish to have. Ryan, I was sitting next to Ryan Collier, my dear friend, and we're like, God, how could you speak? Oh, can you speak like Barry? It makes me want to introduce who's next coming up on the wrestling stage. Barry, well done tonight. Thank you for your service. Great work tonight. Our awesome live music tonight was brought to you by none other than our famous Manny Martinez and the Jazz Quartet. By the way, you may not know this, but I told you last year, Manny's got a rock band, and sometimes you just feel like rocking. Birth of Happiness published their first full-length, commercially produced album, and guess what's happening with Manny and his band? They are rising up national ranks. And if you are not following Manny on Instagram and Facebook, you're missing out. Manny, you inspire us. Your story is not just inspiring, it's real and it's raw, and it talks about triumph over great adversity. We've heard a lot of that tonight. Manny Martinez and the Manny Martinez Jazz Quartet. I was kidding around as Manny is on Spotify and iTunes, and he's got all these celebrities now plugging him, talking about redemption and recovery. And I'm like, God, we're gonna like someday go, remember when we were paying Manny like $2,500 to be at First Citizen? Now we're like selling his autograph on eBay for $2,500. So if you'd like to purchase one of Manny's albums, he would certainly let you. But make sure you are following him. This is one of those great parts of Salem. We get to take a look at one of our great success stories here. So Manny, thank you so much. Great job, you guys. Thank you guys for all of you. As we near conclusion, allow me to recognize a few extraordinary partners whose participation has made this event truly remarkable. First of all, Pioneer Trust Bank. Thank you guys so much for making this event happen. Mountain West Center for Community Excellence. Thank you guys so much for making this event happen. By the way, I get to call Dr. Salem Noor my mentor. And it was wonderful to see George Puente's name up here, and I've been so fortunate myself, it's a little selfish about me, but to have mentors like George, and of course, probably my first professional mentor and somebody we miss so much is Mike McLaren. But Dr. Noor, you are doing incredible things in this community. Thank you so much for your mentorship. I'd like to thank our gold sponsors, Sawfeld Griggs, this incredible team here. Thank you guys. Oregon Specialty Group, of course, headed by Dr. Bud Pierce. And to PGE for serving as our gold sponsor this evening. Thank you all very much. To our silver sponsors, you are all platinum in my book. Allied Video Productions, wow. I mean, Greg mentioned, how amazing these videos were. As much as Dan Johnson on our staff team and myself would like to claim that, this is Allied's production. Wonderful job. Salem Convention Center, incredible job with your service, and wow, the meals got out so quick. They were tremendous tonight. Thank you to the Salem Convention Center for allowing us to be here. And if I could, one more time, I would like to ask our chairwoman, Laura Dorn, and her entire committee to please stand and take a collective bow. Chairwoman Dorn is receiving a wonderful gift on behalf of our organization. We're going to miss her at the helm. This is Laura's last year chairing this event, and we have great leaders waiting in the wings, but Laura, you've definitely guided us on how to run a terrific event. Our Salem Chamber Ambassadors, you always see them in their blue vests or jackets. Thank you for your time. Our Emerging Leader Ambassadors, thank you for your time, and of course, I've got the best staff team in the world. They're back there laying incredible work tonight. All of you have given so much time, and Jackie Ellerbrock runs an incredible team. So to our staff team, you are wonderful. Thank you to Becca Brisbane, who made our buttons tonight. You probably see that on a number of people throughout. And I want to put a special call out to our friends at Red Hawk Winery. John and Betty Paticoli for years ran that incredible winery. If you have not yet met Aaron Bell and Tracy Rogers, they are taking the legacy on. The best wine club, they're absolutely fantastic. That's right, Aaron, that's right. Incredible value. Go out and see their incredible facility. It is so fun to see Tracy and Aaron taking Red Hawk to a new level on with our whole community, and enjoy the view and a little vino, correct? As we put a big bow, I wrote this. As we put a big bow on this evening, I'd like to talk about walking together, all of us, with a servant's heart. For this is the people who make this organization and this event so special. Thank you for celebrating with us all. Have a wonderful night. Please drive safe. And Manny, take us away, sir.